Right on.
Okay. All right.
Still okay for the moment?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready. We're ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
But just give me a time. I'm pretty open. Well, I'll get the the roasted chicken salad
Roasted chicken.
with no tortillas.
No tortillas.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. Just had to order. Sorry about that.
What's your name again? Kevin. Kevin. I'm gonna do the
Actually, Tuesday doesn't work. How about the following week? Maybe
all the ingredients on that. Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's fine. They can toss it. Toss it as long as they don't like drench it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Lightly toss it. That's cool.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Yeah. Bye.
A damn good Arnold Palmer, man. I think it's freshly squeezed on it. We're recording.
What's for? Oh, I got our club soda. The Big Bear, man.
Big Bear.
It's like
Cheers, Big Bear.
cheer. It's been here forever. How many years? Like 20?
1997.
You remember there was other
8 years.
28 years. I still remember when it was being built, but there was like a franchise, Hops. And so they had one here on University.
Yeah, it was where the Four Rivers is now, I think.
Yeah. And then there was one in like
Plantation.
Sunrise Plantation.
Yeah.
And so this was like,
They had great rolls.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. They were like honey rolls with butter.
Yeah.
They were good.
They went everybody's out of the business in the Great Recession, I think.
Yeah. And then this opened. So it was like this whole thing with
Right, at the same time, they're competing.
with the breweries.
That's right. That's right. Brew pubs were getting really big back then.
Yeah. So they opened up and they actually survived. They're like, I mean, there's a lot of breweries that like went under. And then there was one in Boca and West Palm.
Yeah.
And it's funny, this one lasted everybody.
Greg's like a local guy. He's doing GW Sharkies, which is kind of a dive bar right down the street.
I loved that when I was over there.
That was his place. And he sold it and built this one. And Sharkies moved from where it was on Copins and University and moved out to Coral Springs. But the new Sharkies kicks ass.
I haven't been there yet.
It's the best place in West Broward for live music.
Okay.
I saw Unchained there, completely Unchained. The band.
Yeah, great band. Well, the original band's even better.
Well, they do all the old David Lee Roth stuff. So go figure.
Any Sammy stuff?
No, it's all David Lee Roth.
Well, it makes sense. Unchained from that album.
It's called Completely Unchained. They're touring national.
If I was Unchained, I'd be like, we'll play one, Van Halen with Sammy Hagen.
He looks like Roth. He dances like David Lee Roth and everything.
It's the way to go.
So listen, we're doing our food dude review luncheon, Big Bear Brewery here.
I'm so happy to be here.
University Drive.
Yeah.
Schlepped all the way up down from Boynton Beach.
Not a bad schlep at all.
Not a bad schlep. 40 minutes.
30. Actually, 30. Yeah, maybe 40.
It's all good.
Old University, that's what I like. University Drive from Sawgrass.
Years ago.
This is my old neighborhood. I lived here for a long time.
I did live in Coral Springs, didn't you?
Yeah, good, probably like 10 years. My wife didn't want to leave.
That's right. You told me that.
She loved it here.
That's right.
I threw her to Palm Beach. I said, we're going to Palm Beach.
That's right. I remember you told me that. That's right.
She was she loved Broward. I like Palm Beach. But I still love Broward. I think Broward has better food.
Do you really? I don't know.
I think better like hole in the wall. I don't know. I just think
hole in the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
corporate in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
There's some good hole in the walls in Palm Beach.
Well, this place, the Sharkies, Greg modeled it after kind of Houston style. Actually.
Yeah.
He likes the good service. He likes nice upscale lunch place. He's got great burgers. He's got great beer in the menu. Steaks, salads.
Great bar.
Yeah.
And it always looks like, the restaurant always looks great in here.
Yeah, it's always clean. He does a great job.
Yeah.
The bathroom's always clean, like Houston's.
True.
It's always super clean there. And it
still looks great. It's like it hasn't aged in a bad way. It aged in a great way.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been here like 28 years.
It almost looks like it's like a steakhouse almost.
Yeah.
It's that dark, intimate feel.
Yeah. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be like Houston's Alexander's. And
I love those places.
Yes. He does a good job. So
great salads. The prime rib sandwich is amazing.
I ordered a tuna.
Oh, the tuna is like
tuna is amazing.
Their soups are good.
Yes, all made from scratch. Yeah, he does a good job. So
it's a good place for business lunches. It's a good place to just
This is the business lunch place for Coral Springs, Parkland, Northwest Broward.
Yeah, this is my go-to.
Yeah,
even when you're not here, I've done a lot of businesses.
Yeah, in fact, I can hear the people talking behind me, and the guy sitting right behind me doesn't know yet, but he's one of my clients. So no problem popping and saying hello. We're 280s dudes. Our podcast. Hit subscribe. We're doing our food dude review, and we're back live again this week.
Yep.
Doing on location. This week, we don't have a top 10 list. Remember our last episode, we talked about best bands of the 90s and kind of like, we touched on rock and roll kind of died. And
It was a good episode, but kind of depressing because I love rock.
me too. I love
And the demise of rock, it makes me so sad.
Yeah.
It's just a part of my whole life. And when it like, there's things you just can't do anymore. Like you can't, just go into the record stores or buying your CDs. I mean, it was just a great experience, like getting a CD or a record and looking at the liner notes, the album cover. It was such a great experience growing up.
And one thing too is I think it's what's happened in the electronic age and information age is that when we used to have to buy an album, if you like one song in the album, then to buy the whole album and CD.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear some like it might be the last song on the album or CD, and you're like, oh, it's a great song. Oh, it was ever a great song. Once like Napster came out and like iTunes came out, like people could just download one song.
Yeah.
And so it became less profitable for the artist and for the record company.
I went crazy myself. I was like downloading this, downloading that, but it still wasn't the same. You copied them onto CDs and
but I think it's contributed. Listen, is rock and roll dead? No, it's not dead, but it's not what it was when we were growing up in the 80s. I mean,
100%. But I think there's a lot, to it. And
there's a lot of factors that contribute to that complete kind of fall off the cliff in like 1996 is my kind of opinion. Where rock kind of fell off the cliff for a variety of reasons. That's what we're going to talk about today.
I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't think it's just one reason, but I think there's a probably like 3 or 4 of them that really contributed to this. The demise of like rock as we knew it while we were growing up.
And I did a little research actually, and there's
I did some too.
Oh, all right. There's a guy online. He's a younger guy, millennial Gen Z, and he is a statistician. And he's got a website, and he does all this data analysis, and he did a lot of research. And his theory, his name is Daniel Paris, actually. His theory, and I kind of interesting. I found it
Paris.
Yeah, Paris. Yeah.
Oh, I had a friend, Joe Paris.
Okay,
he's a big music guy and play guitar.
Okay,
so shout out to Joe.
So this guy, his conclusion is, and it makes sense. He goes, if you look at the Billboard Top 100 for the last 60 years, rock/pop was at its peak really in about 1985. 50% of the top Billboard Top 100 were rock/pop songs.
Really, 85.
85. That's the peak. And so what happened is that, because music was it started in the 50s, rock and roll, got creative in the 60s. You got better recording equipment in the 70s, 80s got more synthesizer. So it kind of peaked in the 80s. And then you had this in 91, the grunge thing came out. And then it kind of, revitalized everything. And then there were all these new bands we talked about last week, like Better Than Ezra, Black Crowes, Live, Sheryl Crow, Seal, a lot of interesting acts in the early 90s that you kind of revived it briefly. In about 95,
but it was briefly.
In about 95, 96, it just kind of like fell off the face of the earth. There was no really any more good music anymore.
Kind of just to see, to go on that.
Sure.
I was listening to a couple of, podcasts, and I wanted to do a little bit of research, and they made a couple of really good points. Like, after grunge, you kind of remember Kurt Cobain, what's his name from Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder. You still had like faces, like, Stone Temple Pilots.
Right.
And, but like after like 95, 96, they were releasing groups like, Three Doors Down. And,
right. We talked about Three Doors Down last week. Good band.
Yeah. But you didn't really know a singer. The singer. They felt like the identity of rock, like they were releasing all these bands. I remember 94, 9, they were like all these like one-hit wonders or two-hit wonders. We didn't really like the Toadies. We didn't.
And I think it comes to the fact too that when Napster came out and iTunes, they were listening to one song. People weren't getting to the whole album. They weren't getting the whole band.
That was another thing they were saying. They were like, guess what? When we were kids, like the CDs still had. You open up a CD, you had like the band in there. You could still read the lyrics. There was ways to kind of like, be involved with it still.
There's a lot of contributing factors, rapid change. Also, 1996, 1996 Telecommunication Acts.
You know what? I didn't think that was right, but you are 100% on that. That was really because one of the big start of this whole thing.
Before 1996 Telecommunications Act, there was multiple multimedia companies all over the country, and they weren't allowed selling more than a certain amount of radio stations and TV stations and news stations. When they the Telecommunications Act, they did a lot of good stuff, but one of the things it did, it kind of deregulated that. So all these big companies gobbled up all these radio stations, had a lot of DJs and the managers, and basically what they did is they kind of cookie cutter the playlist, and so they really
even in Broward, like right out in Hollywood, the one radio station, they have six, they had 6 radio stations operating the same place,
And so what happened is that it cut out a lot of the music, and they weren't experimenting in music, and DJs were out experimenting with music, so you didn't see that. So it's all these contributing factors. Plus,
100% right.
One really of rock too is the rise of rap music. And one thing about rock and roll, some of my kind of opinions, part of my monologue type thing, is rock and roll is always the counterculture, revolution, 50s, 60s, be a rebel. Yeah, got a little too corporate in the 80s. And the rap guys were in your face. They're talking anti-establishment, anti-cop, whatever, et cetera, number one. Number two, rock started bringing rap in. Remember how CD Tyler and Aerosmith running rap?
You do not like that.
No, I hate that. Then you get the Beastie Boys. They were rap.
I didn't like it either. I was like, that was just a perfectly great song. Yeah. Nothing wrong with Run DMC. It was like a rock song.
I know, but it introduced a lot of young kids. And I was in high school when that came out. I was 17 years old.
But getting to your point, so the other thing was the rock groups were, rock groups rarely promoted themselves.
Yeah.
And they just didn't do it. They were like, hey, let the music,
speak for itself.
Speak for itself.
There were a lot of copycat bands too, all the hair metal.
They didn't promote, like it was just not the same thing. Rap bands promoted themselves.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, I would get it out. They would like cut their own albums. They would cut their own tapes. They would bring their tapes into places where rap music was popular. They would play these tapes and they would pass the tapes. Rock music, people didn't do that with rock.
It became too corporate.
Yeah,
and I think another thing too is I remember because
they were more entrepreneurial.
They were.
I mean, the rappers were more.
Yes.
They were on the streets, selling their tapes. And rock music wasn't.
They were selling the gangsta lifestyle. I mean, grew up down here. We had Luke Skywalker. And
that's another true. That's another thing. It was like a whole lifestyle. I had friends that were into rap. They were, changing the way they wore their sneakers and how they wore their clothes and so forth.
I remember going to my senior high school, my buddies, Oh, and the one thing that is that mobile audio changed. Car stereo systems got better, and all you needed was a big subwoofer, and all the young guys.
You can hear the bass, and it's like boom, boom.
They all liked the bass. They didn't really understand the lyrics, but they liked the bass line, and it sounded good in a car.
Yeah, true.
Where rock just didn't didn't have that deep bass and everything. It's rock. It was more treble and hi-hat cymbals and so forth. So that's my opinion.
Plus, you could dance a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
And then I think more chicks came involved, and it just. I think rock was. There was more. It was a lifestyle rock.
Yeah.
Not that rap's not a lifestyle, but rock was a whole thing. Going to the record.
Got lazy, man. They got lazy in a sense.
Maybe they got lazy. I don't know, but
too corporate.
I don't know if they got lazy. I think it was a system. Rock had a system. You play clubs. Then after you play clubs, you try to get a record deal.
Right.
You get a record deal, you get some hits.
Right.
After the record deals, you sell some records. Hopefully you get hits.
On tour, you make
and you go on tour, and that's it. And you try to keep that same cycle over and over and over again. And then you have people buying, records, CDs, or tapes. And that's a whole lifestyle. And then you buy the rock shirt, and and a lot of the rock music was really catered to men, white males.
Yeah, right. But then the rap started catering to young white middle class kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
were getting the money.
It was rebellious. Rock wasn't as rebellious.
Plus, it was a different beat. Girls could dance to it.
Right. I remember going back to my high school.
Plus they could you didn't need a guitar, you didn't need a drum.
Right.
You could literally
then sample some rock music.
Yeah, and you could
Tone Loc, right?
Sample like
Van Halen.
David's crying.
He's crying, right? And I remember going back to my high school after I graduated about 4 years later, about 1991, I got in the Navy. And we'd go see some basketball games. I remember my buddy and I, we pulled in the parking lot. Here we're alumni. And all the kids was on rap.
Yeah.
4 years ago, we were all jamming in the parking lot to rap music.
Well, MTV changed too.
They had MTV raps.
They had MTV raps, and people were listening to that. I think it was a also a rebellion thing as well.
Plus,
they wanted something new,
and the economy in 1991, the economy kind of went to crapper. Kids got rebellious, and then the rap came out. That's why grunge was popular first, because grunge was rebellious. So it was grunge with rap.
One more thing to add to this, that I went to camp one summer in New York, and there was a station called PLJ 95.5. This was like, I think, 82.
Right.
And it was like the premier rock station. I mean, they'd have bumper stickers like Zeppelin rocks and Jake Island rock, Doors rocks. It was like amazing. I get in the car. My grandfather picks me up at camp upstate New York.
Right.
Start driving into like I lived outside the city, and the station turned. And it turned to top 40. So and I also, I think top 40 kind of like, thank you.
All right. Yes. Thank you, sir.
What a salad.
Oh, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Sashimi, great. It's got a little bit of wakame on the side. It's got a great salad.
I think it looks beautiful.
Mango. Is that spectacular?
Yeah, no. The noodles,
everything.
The cilantro.
Beautiful.
I can't say cilantro, but I just said it. You got the red onions.
Awesome.
And then here's my beautiful salad. Look at that.
It's a chicken with like,
it's their famous like rotisserie chicken salad.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
I'm looking forward to this.
I didn't get tortillas.
I had a fast yesterday.
Oh, it's perfect.
Well, it's good, Kevin. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. So I lost my train of thought. So the top 40 came,
right?
And I think this kind of hurt things too, because when I was growing up, you had just rock stations. They would just play Kinks and, the Beatles, the Dead, whatever. So top 40 stations came, and MTV was out, and they started playing everything.
That's right.
They played from Billy Idol, heard White Wedding. Then I heard Culture Club. Then I heard Girls Want to Have Fun. Then I heard Duran Duran. And then you'd hear Madonna doing like somewhat rock dance song. Yeah. And then you hear all these other like all these other like kind of dance songs. So they were mixing hair metal bands with Poison and Rat.
That's true.
With rock and dance, and they even would start putting rap songs on. Yeah, remember the beach? Remember that beach in the Fat Boys?
Oh, the Wipeout.
No, they did.
It's called Wipeout.
Yeah, Wipeout. Yeah,
Fat Boys.
So they
jumped in the bandwagon because Aerosmith worked for Aerosmith.
Yeah, so like that was like, I think that really contributed to. It was just
that's true. It went from classic rock stations to like rock, but there was pop rock.
Pop rock.
That's why this kid's thesis, I think, holds true. 50% of the Billboard 100 in the mid '80s was rock, pop rock. But you know what, though? Another interesting fact I did read as well. Poll today, believe it or not, pop rock is still, I guess I think like 35% of people say that pop rock was their favorite music. And actually, it still tops because there's so many subgenres now. You got country, you got rap.
Yeah.
You got jazz, you got indie music. There's all these subgenres. So really, rock is still kind of the biggest music, believe it or not.
Well, classic rock is still so huge on, Apple Music and all the rest of them.
I mean, look at the money these bands.
Well, it's the older bands that really. But and then I was listening to something else, and here's another like reason, like going back to your point, when they had the radio stations that were merging and so forth, right? This was all about money.
All about money.
They said that's why the rock stations were limited. They weren't investing into rock anymore. They would have managers. They had the radio stations partner up with the record companies. The record companies would then basically kind of like they were all in cahoots with each other. They weren't looking for new music. They wanted all music that sounded the same.
Yeah.
They didn't really have identity because they basically said the classic rock was so great that they're never going to be able to find groups like that again. And that's a lot of the reasons. They would have people that work for the radio stations manage the rock groups. They would also be the producer of the rock groups.
That's true.
They would get like money back from the record companies.
Oh yeah.
They were all in cahoots.
They're all cahoots.
How could you really get really good music?
Yeah.
When those things were happening.
Yeah, they extracted like all the money out of these bands. It's kind of crazy. Dude, how's your salad, by the way?
This is unbelievable.
Look at that tuna. That's great. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
Amazing.
What I love about this salad is it's like rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
They carve it right off the bone.
That's a great salad, dude.
I think I've been having this out for like 20 years. I think we have the same dressing. I have like a lime dressing on this. Excellent.
Yes. I love that salad right there.
But
good stuff.
Yeah, like I said, their salads are phenomenal. They're big, huge. You walk out of here, you're stuffed. You don't feel like you had a salad.
Totally.
Yours looks insane. I think I'm going to get that next time.
This is the winner. I always get this one.
Oh, I love that one.
They have a great burgers here, right? They have a great prime rib sandwich, or not the prime rib. What's
the friendship, the friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah, the friendship is insane.
Totally.
Then at 4 o'clock, they have the regular prime rib.
That's right. It's a special now. They don't have, they have it until they run out. That's right.
Yeah. Well, prime ribs on the comeback trail. A lot of people are eating that again. So
spectacular.
I can't wait to come back around.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have that, and that's for a burger.
Right, burger again.
Burgers again.
So get back to our topic this week, Jeff. I mean, Rob, it's not dead, dude. It's not dead. It's just not what it was when we were growing up. So basically, you know what I mean? It's just different now. I know it's kind of depressing when you watch the Grammys, and you don't really know most of the performers because they're old.
I mean, well, you said something great. Not only it's great, but it's sad. I mean, actually, I wouldn't say sad. It's just so much genre of music. Heavy metal's huge in Europe. Huge still.
True.
There's bands like Ghost. I don't know that much about them, but they dress up as ghosts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're very popular. You have Iron Maiden still selling out shows.
Iron Maiden's still touring. We have the Nico McBrain. He doesn't play for them anymore. He lives locally.
We got to go to the Rib Place one day. I think that might be our next one.
Rock and Roll Ribs, definitely.
Yeah, perfect place. Then you have Judas Priest still touring, CDC on their last leg, and then you have all these old hair metal bands like Wasp still in Europe doing these big. They have these festivals.
Right.
So it's so not dead. So then you have indie music here. That's like you were saying before.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands. There's a lot. The thing that, because there's Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, there's a lot of great music. There's a lot of great musicians. Problem is, it's so, you got to really search for it. People still go to the golden oldies, so to speak, because we can identify with it. We're older now. We can afford paying these ridiculous prices of concert. Dude, I just saw.
But 90% of the concerts of hard rock are classic rock bands.
Oh, yeah. I just read the Rush concert that they're coming to the Hard Rock next November, I think. $400 for nosebleed. But it's Styx. Now, Styx is playing here this Sunday night in Pompano Beach.
Oh.
There are tickets available. You can still get tickets in the Pompano Beach Amphitheater, the amp. They call it. It's one of the best venues to see a show. It's outside, but it does have a quote-unquote roof. You can get tickets on the sides for about $100.
Oh.
It's not a bad deal, man.
They have a new album out, actually.
Styx does?
Not bad.
Really?
I think it's pretty good. I saw a lot of good bands there at the Pompano. I saw Foreigner and some really good stuff.
It's a great place. I was trying some other accounts coming out this summer down here. Styx is actually kind of back in with Chicago.
No.
At that mosquito-infested outdoor place in West Palm Beach.
The worst place to see it.
Worst place.
But I hate it.
But they have the lawn. You can sit in the lawn, whatever.
Yeah, if it's not too hot, it's not bad. I always wish, why can't they do rock shows in the winter? I don't get it.
Yeah.
There must be a rule.
The place probably is cheap. Has all that general admission lawn seating. Must be high profitability or something.
Some reason.
That place is called the I Think Financial Center.
Yeah, they keep changing it.
I think. I won't go because of the mosquito.
Another bank promoting it.
Go figure, all these banks.
But getting back to, here's another thing. I was listening to a couple other guys on YouTube.
Right.
And another thing was this one guy goes, oh, when you were growing up, when rock was really popular, you knew the band names. You knew the people, like the Beatles. Name all 4 Beatles. You could do it. John, George, Ringo, Paul. Like Led Zeppelin. You could go Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, I think that's a German. So, or you could go the Stones with Keith Richards.
Sure. They knew them all.
You knew it all. Even Genesis, you knew it.
Right.
Phil Collins.
Tony Banks.
Rutherford.
Mike Rutherford.
Peter Gabriel.
So today.
And then you went through the 80s. You knew a lot of the bands of the 80s still. Motley Crue, the whole band, Tommy Lee, Vince Neil.
I think people just don't identify.
Even Jay Giles, you knew Peter Wolf. I mean, come on. Then in the 90s, in the late 90s, you didn't know any of the people in the bands.
That's true.
Going back to Three Doors Down.
Three Doors Down. I just think that the bulk of those media companies, when they had the conglomeration of those media companies in the late 90s, they just looked for the bet.
You're 100% right.
Look for the most money. So when someone's hot, they ran with it. And they just abandoned the creativity. Just like Hollywood movies today. Hollywood is there's no creativity where they just remake everything. And there's only like 3 or 4 big movie studios.
That's a perfect scenario. Back in the day, you go to the movies, they had action movies.
Right.
They had love stories. They had comedies.
Military or veteran.
Everything. Now, everything has to be a big budget movie. Those the indie films are done. You remember that? Like, I didn't love Ghost, but guess what? Ghost would never happen today. That
Great
movie.
movie.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't happen today. They want to show, superheroes or big things that worked before.
The other thing too is movies back down saying with like soundtracks. They were creative and they had some like Saturday Night Fever. The DJs wrote all the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Today, all they do is
you wouldn't have a Rocky today.
But today, with the music, they just go back. They go, yeah, okay, a movie's set in the '80s. Let's go back to we'll just use music from the '80s. And there's no creativity anymore. Yeah. So I think that lack of creativity, I think that really started in the '90s. Really kind of just not killed, but really just put a serious damper on rock. Not just rock, everything.
I'll take it back. I think there's still creativity. I think there was still creativity back then. I think the issue was money.
How do you get to these artists?
Money crushed the whole thing. The bands are still out there. They still have the rock bands out there. Nobody wants to invest anymore. They want today. They want a sure thing.
Yeah,
that's why. Like even the restaurants today, you go to like a big Bear. He's an individual owner still. So sole guy. These type of places, you know how expensive it would be to open a place like this. So open it a corporate.
I'm going to do that, sir.
Corporations who open restaurants like this would own like five or 6 of these.
Then they sell them off.
Yeah,
money to build something else. So it's like our whole country's kind of turns into a corporation type business.
It's a formula now.
That is one.
So, well, maybe that's what. At the end of the day, we grew up at a great time.
Yes, the 80s was the best.
With great music,
for sure.
We had an opportunity to like buy a record. We had an opportunity to buy a CD and make our own recordings. Like we could take, hey, let's make our top 80 songs, or make a love songs, or whatever we want to do. My daughter was like, "Oh, I'm like Friday night was amazing. We go to hang out at a movie theater. Find out. We look in the newspaper. Find out what the new release movie would be."
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we'd be so excited.
That's right.
We wait, we go see the movie, and then most of them, like you said, we had soundtracks. So our whole life revolved around the movie theater, the mall.
Yeah. I think maybe we're just a couple of 80s Gen X guys, pontificating and sitting around talking about the good old days and like that. It was cool, but rock and roll. Yes. I mean, I do think it did peak in the 80s, had a nice flash comeback in the early 90s. That's it died. I thought early 90s rock was going to just explode again. So much creativity. There's that 95, 96 that just was gone. Pop music became very big.
I thought that was going to ignite when all those bands were coming out. I was like, we are in a whole new realm again. And it got serious. Like after the 80s, it was like, bubblegum-ish. And that was too much. And then these grunge bands were more like classic rock from the 70s. And you're like, all right, we rediscovered our roots again.
Yeah.
And how wrong was I?
Like I said, there's still like one thing that but lockdown in the mid-90s. Rap is contributing factor. I think the Telecommunications Act with these media companies kind of coming together, lost creativity, and also listen, core group of people who enjoyed rock, guys like us, you're getting older too. Listen, by 1995, I was getting married, starting a family. I listen to like jazz music and stuff. Man, I really wasn't listening to rock music anymore. You were.
I was still, I was listening to Dave Matthews.
I did like Dave Matthews.
I was listening to like anything I could get my grubby little hands on.
But we just couldn't do it because of the fact that the record companies were promoting these bands like they should. Radio stations were changing, and there wasn't any more rock stations anymore. I think when those media companies, merged together, just streamline all their playlists, cut out creativity. Record companies have promoted new bands. Rap got bigger, and so it just kind of just rock and roll. I would say, kind of went poof. It's all them factors, not one. Like I said, there's still a market out there. People still listen to it. There just as many new bands.
Well, there's a band called Goose. They're coming to Fort Lauderdale in April. 4 nights in Broward. And this band is amazing. And they keep releasing albums. It's like they come out with a new album every year.
Who are they?
There's 14 or 15 songs on there. That's the problem. I don't know the names of the people in the band.
But where are they from?
I don't even know. I got to look into it. But I got some friends wanting to go. We're going to go check them out. You're totally invited to go.
Where they playing?
Somewhere in Fort Lauderdale. I think it's
4 nights.
4 nights.
Where?
These guys are really popular. They sell out the Garden.
What?
Yeah, I gotta send you this.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the Dead meet fish with a like more of a little like
Really?
poppy.
Yeah, right.
They're excellent. They actually did it. They had a show and they had Bruce Hornsby.
He's very talented.
They did one of his famous songs and they covered that.
I'm thinking something else. Okay.
Well, you guys are great.
I gotta check them out. Ghost, huh?
Who?
Or Goose.
Ghost was the
movie.
No, Ghost is the movie, and they have a heavy metal band called Ghost, and these guys put masks on. They're extremely popular.
Interesting. Morning to you every day, huh?
I guess add one more thing or two more things.
Sure, buddy.
The same with with rock with like Zeta. I remember Zeta big time. It was like a lifestyle. Like I would work like with my stepfather when I got out of college. We work, he was an electrician. We work at a house, and I'd have Zeta going from the morning to like maybe 4 o'clock. You could hear all about all the new shows, all the restaurants and bars around town, all the the clubs and the little bands that were playing. Knew exactly what was going on. They had a whole
stations were good.
Yeah.
They played the right music, and then when something happened, big companies took over the radio stations. They streamlined the playlist. They fired the program directors. The music got boring. I think that's the major culprit to rock and roll going up in the 90s. That squashing the creativity by the corporations. I think that and the rap growing. But like I said, still today, dude, jazz is still around. Jazz is a popular art form in the early 20th century. There's a different
jazz was in the 40s and 50s. It was the rock. But you know what? Again, rock died after. You know what's funny? 80s. Having this conversation, it was really the record companies and radio stations crushed it.
They got greedy.
That was it. They didn't put the time and effort into it anymore. They had the same people doing everything, and they were getting crushed. They had people in this industry. Basically, they worked for the radio station. They produced the music. They were all getting paid off by each other. They were charging money when these bands were recording. They were getting paid for instruments, and everybody was getting kickbacks, and the thing just blew up.
But like I said, though, read reports saying that still at the end of the day, there's still a significant amount of people who say it's rock and pop is still the primary, music that they like. So I think it'll always still be around. Living on today, I mean, listen, Triumph is coming into town, Rush is coming into town, Styx is playing. These bands are still around; they're still making money.
Yeah, no, people want. I think people want to hear them. They put on their Apple Music or wherever they're getting it. Some people don't have the time anymore.
Kind of sad, dude.
Yeah.
It just, reminds me like how awesome it was for us growing up in the 80s. 80s is great. Top of Rock was 1985. That was like our golden years.
The 80s music's from, just again, the genre. You had it was a lifestyle. You had the concerts. You had the soundtrack, the movie, all the movie, like Fast Times. You think of the soundtrack. That whole movie was I wouldn't say a musical, but it was, you remembered all those great bands in there, great songs.
Vision Quest had a great soundtrack, all that stuff.
Unreal. What a great time.
It's really cool that we could,
but I'm going to cry.
You all set with everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Any dessert or anything? Or?
No, I'm good.
No?
You want dessert?
I don't want dessert. Yeah. Check's good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin was pretty good. What do you think?
Phenomenal.
Is on top of this table. Nice, personable guy.
Yeah, he got us our food.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Did it in an efficient manner. Asked for refills.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. This
great salad.
Awesome. This place is awesome.
Same.
Never had a bad meal here. And the service is always really good. You're right. It's got that total kind of corporate layout. It's like a power lunch place.
Yeah, it's intimate. It definitely looks like a steakhouse. If you said this was a steakhouse, you'd be like, steakhouse. I
could go for a beer right now, but since it's Lent, I'm a good Catholic. I'm drinking for the next 6 weeks. Not that I'm counting.
Yeah.
I'm
going to follow you. I'm not drinking.
No.
At least today.
Not till the weekend. The weekend's tomorrow, actually.
Oh, no.
It's all good, man.
I got a long weekend again. All right.
So you got to check it out. So this is Big Bear Brewery, Coral Springs, University Drive. It's in between Atlantic Boulevard and Royal Palm. They're open for lunch and dinner and Sunday brunch. Guys got fantastic beers, good prices on the menu. Nice portion salad was humongous. I had that ahi tuna. Jeff,
yeah, that chicken salad was amazing.
Amazing. They do burgers.
That's my go-to.
Highly recommend it. I love this place. Been coming.
Yours might be my go. I like that tuna.
Amazing.
It looks insane.
I think
the tuna looked better than the chicken.
Tuna's awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I never had a bad meal. I love this place. Great plate.
But again, their sandwich, everything's phenomenal here.
Dressings and everything. So the 90s, we hate to say rock and roll did kind of go poof. We wanted to share our sentiments of rock kind of going down, but listen, it'll always be rock and roll never die. Rock and roll never die. No. It's just not what it was when we were going.
So true. Yeah, but you know what? Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
It was a great time. I mean, things are happening so quick today. I mean, things are evolving. Again, you could just, instead of going to a record store, you just go on your on your phone. No, it's still good to just to put the record on. But I'm just saying, listen, things evolve. I mean, we have great music, and
I'm gonna go check this Goose and Ghost band.
Yeah.
One was Ghost, and one was called Goose. I'm sure.
One was Goose, one was Ghost.
Goose and Ghost. Sounds like a good tour or duo.
That's funny.
All right, my friend. Well, good seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
Until next time.
All right.
We got to come up with our next list. What are we talking about? We got to go back to our list. You got to come up with a top 10.
I'd say we do like the best American rock guys.
Oh, that's right. Because we did the best American rock cans. Now we're going to be best American rock.
Yeah, but in the genre, like the John, Bruce Springsteen, that
Tom Petty,
Seeger, that kind of Steve Miller, Jackson Brown.
I believe that.
There's a lot we could talk about.
All right, let's do that next time.
Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
See you next time.
Take care.
Like, click subscribe. Come check out Big Bear, and we'll see you next time.
Love the Big Bear.
All right. Have a good night.